And we're joined on the phone today by author Carolyn Sloan, and we're talking about her new book for kids, Welcome to Jazz. Carolyn, how's it going today?
I'm all right, Justin. Thanks. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm excited about your new book here, Welcome to Jazz. Can you tell the listeners a bit about it?
Sure. Welcome to Jazz is an interactive book for kids of all ages, as I like to say, because it introduces kids to the art form in a very concrete way, because you can read the definitions and explanations about jazz and the contextual information, but also hear it. So kids as little as 3 are going to enjoy just pushing the buttons on the sound panel on the side. And all of the recording is done by young musicians that are here in New York City living, working, and studying jazz.
Excellent. Yeah, you mentioned great for all ages. It kind of seems nowadays jazz may be becoming lost a bit in the music shuffle. So it's great, a book like this for kids and parents, kind of get them reintroduced to the genre.
It's really true, and there's no other music that's such an example of our kind of American music, because this music certainly wasn't introduced over a century ago in Europe. This is ours. It's part of our American cultural heritage. So I think it's really important for kids to learn about it.
And you also touch on, just the elements of music, the instruments. It seems, sadly as well, now with music programs kind of disappearing, kids might not be getting this information either. So it's a great, definitely an introduction to music for everybody.
It's really true. Also, kids don't get to listen to live music as much as they should or as they could. Whether it's a geographic problem, like you're not near a place where you can go listen to music, or maybe it's an economic one where you can't really, afford to buy a ticket, whether it's to the symphony or to jazz concert. I think this is sort of like a concert in a book, and what's great about it is you kind of have your own sort of musical tour guide in the book.
And again, the book Welcome to Jazz is available now, and we should mention the side panel, the sound panel there. A lot of parents familiar with those kind of books. It's great you're able to incorporate the sounds that go along so kids can get a sense to what the instruments sound like.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Music is really abstract. So, the sound panel helps make concepts concrete for them. And also, it's just really fun. I mean, a mom sent me a little video the other day of her kids reading and listening to the book, and they're just like dancing around the house. And it's just a really kind of fun way to introduce kids to something that they may not be familiar with.
And I got to say, the illustrations in the book are great as well. It's definitely very colorful, and it's very fun to just look at as well.
Yeah, I think that Jessica Gibson did a great job making it really engaging for kids, because, there are these little cats who are like going to hear a jazz concert, which I kind of, there's a little joke there because, we usually refer to jazz musicians as cats, but now we have cats going to listen to people. So they're kind of listening to jazz, and they kind of take you through the concert. It is very colorful, but it's also very evocative of being in like a jazz club in New Orleans.
And I love that in the back of the book, you've got some lists in there to give readers, kind of a starting point on, what jazz artists or songs to start with, maybe if they're new to the genre and want to jump in and check it out.
Yeah, no, I think it's really great. Louis Armstrong is a great place to start, because he's the master of all things jazz and also kind of like the granddaddy, I think, of swing. And so any Louis Armstrong and the Hot Five, it's great to listen to. Duke Ellington, big band, Glenn Miller, Benny Goodman, and Billie Holiday, Ella. There's just a wealth of material out there. So I think it's also important that people know that jazz is not one kind of music, right? There's traditional jazz, early jazz, right? Then there's swing, then there's bebop. So I think that, and then there's modern jazz. There's a whole range of different kinds of music that is known as jazz, but jazz has lots of different genres within itself.
And I think for the younger kids, especially if you're listening to the stuff that's on the radio now, you can definitely hear, bits and pieces, and definitely stuff from those jazz artists, kind of, where those people got their influences from.
It's really true. if we didn't have jazz and we didn't have blues, we wouldn't have rock and roll. This is really the basis of our American modern music, and I think it's super fun to kind of really listen to where some of our favorite music really came from, because all that syncopation, all that rhythm, that really has come from early jazz and swing and kind of playing things off the beat.
Well, and again, the book Welcome to Jazz is out now. What's next for you? Is there something else coming up or something else we should look out for?
Well, I think this is, Welcome to Jazz is one in a series, and so there's lots of different kinds of music I want to introduce kids to, whether it's opera as sort of like the predecessor to musical theater, or, welcome to Broadway or welcome to the world of world music, because there's so much of our music that comes from music that's really kind of from other cultures. So it's, I think it's really important that kids and families get to listen to all of that.
Definitely. Well, again, Carolyn, thank you so much for your time, and welcome to Jazz. My kid loves it, and I'm excited to see some of the new ones maybe down the road here. Hopefully I can talk to you again.
Oh, thanks very much for having me. Love to be back.
And again, that was author Carolyn Sloan, and her new book, Welcome to Jazz, is available now. Fun for all ages. Check it out.